A lot of the projects that we look at when we start talking about industrial design and styling, they're really secretive projects. They're usually very early in the design process. And so it can be difficult in some of these case studies to talk about the details of those. So I'd like to just put in your mind that in the space that we work in, we're working in automotive, off-highway, and especially in ag and consumer goods. That can be anything from a standard weed eater to a riding mower to a zero turn. In this instance, we're really focused more on that consumer good. Think about riding equipment that you would cut your grass with. So that could be a lawnmower or a zero turn. And we're really focused on the operating console. So that would be the dash, where you would see the display, you would see the steering wheel, all the switches, all the controls, and the general styling of that component. But our products range across many different venues. This is just one example of that. We were collaborating with a couple different companies on executing the project in a collaborative effort where we pulled together a conceptual industrial design and styling expert, a plastics expert, and our manufacturing expertise to come up with a new concept for styling a dash for a consumer product in the lawn care landscape space. This was really interesting because we took their basic design and we were working with them to try to understand how do we get the look and feel that they want and still use the same tools for their existing product, and then be able to really create a styling environment that really created the sense of what this new product was. And so you can think about all the new technologies that are coming into products like this with electrification and artificial intelligence. And as you start thinking about advancing products, they need a different look and feel to really set them apart. So when the consumer sees it 20 feet away or 50 feet away, they can tell instantly that it's different in some way because it has those new technologies. We came up with multiple concepts in the initial phase, coming up with different styling concepts, and then reviewed that with the customer to figure out what they liked and what they didn't like. And we synthesized those into one concept design, and then worked on their current product tooling to figure out, okay, how do we create this design within the same space and using the majority of the tool? They had multiple tools. One of them could be reworked to make this part, but they really wanted to minimize the tooling cost. So we worked through that design and iterated over the course of just a few weeks to develop the concept. And then it was just a few weeks to develop the concept for the mold. We made prototypes. All of this happened within 2 months, from concept to making a printed prototype for their customers to see and for their senior leadership to see and approve. And this was really interesting from the standpoint of we had to use our model, work in a very fast environment with a tough client that had high expectations on the amount of reuse we'd have. But in the end, we came out with a concept that required only one tool to be modified out of 3. They gave them a very distinct and different look, and that was the outcome that they were looking for. They came back a few months later and asked us to work with them on the internal components and synthesizing all the components into the underside of the dash. That allowed us to give them better manufacturing support and help them in their assembly process to make this almost a non-event for the manufacturing facility to produce the current product and this new product.
If you're seeking expert engineering support and insights, follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook to stay updated with our latest innovations and services.